Hi, Timothy Unkert here. In this video, I want to talk about numbers in Ruby. So let's start with some basic arithmetic. So I'm going to do a hashtag here for a comment, and let's talk about some arithmetic. And maybe I'll get this a little bit larger for you, okay? All right, so we can do something like puts, and then we can do some simple math, 10 plus 3. If we do that, we see we get 13 here. So pretty straightforward. We can do subtraction, 10 minus 3. We can do multiplication, 10 times 3. And then when we get to division, if we do 10 slash 3, well, let's see what happens. So I'm going to run this, and adding the two numbers, we get 13. Subtracting, we get 7, as expected. Multiplying, we get 30. But then when I divide 10 by 3, I don't get 3.3 repeating, I get just 3. So it performs integer division, okay? But if I were to do something like puts 10.0 slash 3 and then run it, we see we get 3.3 repeating, and then there's a little bit of loss of accuracy there at the end with the 5. So that's something you should keep in mind. This happens with Python as well. So now we're having float division, okay? This also works if I do puts 10 divided by 3.0 or puts 10.0 divided by 3.0. As long as one of them is a float. Let's just run that to confirm, and we get the same number the last 3 times. Okay, we can also do the modulo operator in Ruby, so 10 modulo 3, and if I run that, I get 1. Why do I get 1? Well, 3 goes into 10 3 times with a remainder of 1. So the modulo operator is giving me the remainder. Okay. Let's see, what else can we do? Well, we can do basic order of operations. So let's do puts 3 times, and then in parentheses 3 plus 3, and then let's divide this by 3, and then do plus 3 minus 3. Okay, times, let's do times 3 plus 3. Okay, now let's run it. Okay, and what do we get? We get negative 9. So why do we get negative 9 there? Well, we're going to evaluate the parentheses first. So let's write this out in comments here. So if we evaluate the parentheses, we get 3 times 6 divided by 3 plus 3 minus 3 times then 6 again. Okay, so now let's do the multiplication division from left to right. So we're going to do 3 times 6, which is 18 divided by 3, plus 3 minus 3 times 6. Okay, we'll do now 18 divided by 3, which is 6, plus 3. And then we have minus 3 times 6. We have to do the multiplication first, so we have 6 plus 3 minus 18. Okay, now we do addition, so 6 plus 3 is 9, and we have minus 18, and that gives us negative 9. All right, so run it again, we see we have negative 9. All right, we can also do absolute value with Ruby. So let's do some absolute value. So I could do puts, and then I could do negative 10.abs, and if I run this, I get just positive 10. It takes the absolute value of negative 10. Now the absolute value returns the distance. It's trying to autocomplete there. It returns the distance. Negative 10 is away from 0 on the number line, so it's 10 units away. Likewise, positive 10 is also 10 units away, so if I run this, I also get a positive 10 because it's 10 units away. Okay? Let's see, what else can we do? Well, we can bring a number up to a ceiling. So let's do the ceil method in Ruby. So let's do puts, and we'll do 3.1 and then do dot ceil, and this should give us 4. Okay, and it does. We see we get 4 here. Okay, we could also do puts 3.1 to 5 dot ceil, and we could go to the first decimal place, and if we do that, we get 3.2. Let's do just another one to illustrate this. We're putting out the digits we want here. So let's do puts 3. Oops, spell puts right. Puts 3.12222 dot ceal. Let's go out to the third decimal place. If we run that, we get 3.123. So it takes the 2 here and puts it up to a 3 because there's a 2 after. It just puts it up to the next. Let's do puts 3.10 dot ceal, and we'll go to first decimal place, and we'll see we just get 3.1. Okay, but if we did puts 3.11 dot ceal and go to the first decimal place and run that, we get 3.2. Okay, so anything greater than 0 after the digit you're looking for is going to bump it to the next level. We also have the floor method. So let's do puts 3.1 dot floor. Okay, if we do that and run it, we get 3. So it brings it down. And we can also do that with decimal places as well. So let's do 3.11, or let's do 3.19 dot floor and go to the first decimal place, and we see we get 3.1. Okay, if we did let's do puts 3.2.0 dot floor, the first decimal place, well, we're only going to get 3.2. It's not going to knock it down, just like the ceal didn't raise it up. Okay. We can also check if a number is an integer. And to do that, we do puts. Let's do 3.12 dot integer, and we'll do a question mark here. And if we do that, it says false. But if we do something like puts 5 dot integer and do the question mark, it'll say true, because 5 is an integer. Okay. Okay, we can also check if a number is negative. So check if a number is negative. So to do that, we'll do puts, and let's do 5 dot negative, and we'll do a question mark. And let's also do puts, and we'll do minus 5 dot negative and a question mark. And so we should get false true. And we do, we get false true there. After checking if a number is negative, we might want to check if a number is positive. And to do that, we do puts. Let's do 5 dot positive, and we'll do puts and negative 5 dot positive as well. And if we run those, we should get true false. And you see there at the end we get true false. Okay. All right. What else can we do? We can check if a number is 0 or not. So let's check if a number is 0 or not. And there's a couple different ways we can do that. So we can do puts 0 dot non-zero. And if we run this, this is interesting. So let's run this. We see we have a space here. So it returns nil if it is 0. But if it's not 0, let's do non-zero question mark, it's going to return the number. Okay, so it returns 1. Okay, there's also the method, we do puts 0 dot 0 with a question mark, or puts 1 dot 0. Now we're going to get true and false. So let's run that, and we get true and false. Okay. You can also round a number. So rounding a number. And what we can do is puts, let's do 3.125 dot round, and let's just round it this way, and we get 3, so that's the nearest whole number. We could also do puts 3.125 and do round to, say, the second decimal place. We should get 3.13 because we have a 5 after the 2, and we get 3.13. Likewise, if I did puts 3.125 dot round to the first decimal place, since there's a 2 after the 1, we should get 3.1. So run that, we get 3.1. Okay. We can change a number to a complex number. So you should know, like any real number like 5, can be written as 5 plus 0i as a complex number. So we can do that in Ruby as well. Change a number to a complex number. To do that, let's do puts. Let's do 5.2_c. And if we run that, we get 5 plus 0i. So now it's a complex number. Okay, we could change a number to an integer. So let's do puts, and we'll do 3.125.2_i. And if we run this, we're going to get just 3. Chops off the decimal place when it does that. We can also change a number to a float. So let's do puts 3.2_f. And if we run that, we get 3.0. Okay. We can truncate a number. So let's do that. So truncate a number. So let's do puts 3.125.truncate. And if we run that, we're going to get just 3. Now let's do it out to a decimal place. So let's do puts 3.125. This is different than rounding. So let's do truncate, and we'll do it to the second decimal place. Let's run it, and we're going to get 3.12. It just chopped off the 5 there. It didn't round. Okay. So that's a little bit about numbers in Ruby. Hopefully that was helpful to you. If it was, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.